Quick question, how many kids do you think the pig family actually has? Because it's not 3, and it's definitely not simple. There are 7 pig children scattered across the series, each one carrying secrets the show never clears up. So let's finally talk about them. All of them. Alexander Pig. We're starting with Alexander Pig, not because he's the most famous, but because he has way too many secrets for a character this small. He's the pig child everyone forgets about, until he quietly breaks the rules of the show and nobody comments on it. Because in a series where Peppa, George, and just about every child has stayed the same age for 20 years, Alexander quietly decided he wasn't doing that. When he first appears in the episode The Baby Piggy, he's presented as a proper newborn, tiny, bundled up, wearing a yellow baby onesie. Then comes the episode Baby Alexander, and something quietly changes. Alexander is no longer dressed like a newborn. He's bigger, he's being weaned onto soft food, and he's now wearing a toddler-style outfit that looks almost identical to George's, just yellow instead of blue. Peppa feeds him lunch herself, he's taken out in his buggy, and the entire family treats this update like it's completely normal. Which, in Peppa Pig terms, is definitely not normal. Peppa has been 4 for decades. George has been a toddler forever. Alexander, meanwhile, slides from newborn to toddler with no announcement, no joke, and no explanation. And then the episode gives us another odd detail. While talking about first words, we're reminded that Peppa's was mummy. Alexander's first word?
Puddle.
Not mummy or daddy.
Puddle.
Just the most Peppa-coded word imaginable, delivered after Peppa herself explains rain, ducks, and muddy puddles to him like she's running a nature documentary. So Alexander isn't just the only child who ages, he's developing on a completely different track. And then the episode The Noisy Night turns the weirdness up another notch. We're told Alexander likes noise, not calming background noise, not soft bedtime sounds, but full-blown chaos. Vacuum cleaners roaring in the middle of the night, trumpets blaring, house alarms going off, even a rescue helicopter landing outside. And that's what finally sends him to sleep. In Peppa Pig terms, that's not a personality quirk, that's a red flag, which makes him feel less like a background cousin, and more like a child the show doesn't quite know what to do with yet. And if Alexander already has this many secrets as a baby, imagine what the show's hiding about his future. Oscar Pig. If Alexander is full of secrets because he breaks the rules, Oscar Pig is the secret because he doesn't even officially exist. And yet somehow the show keeps tripping over him. But fans didn't invent Oscar Pig out of nowhere. They noticed a pattern the show refuses to clean up. And it starts with the attic. Peppa's house absolutely has one. We see the layout, we know it's there, and yet nobody ever goes up. Nobody mentions it, nobody even reacts when something goes wrong that clearly should involve checking upstairs. In the episode The Power Cut, when the lights suddenly go out, the family barely blinks. No fuse box, no wiring check, no maybe something tripped. They just carry on like they've already agreed the attic is off limits and are used to something or someone in the attic doing this. Then there's the family computer. In the episode Mummy Pig's Book, Peppa and George play the chicken computer game, and the scoreboard is full of familiar names, except for one. Right at the bottom sits OOP, a name the show never explains and never removes. Fans quickly pointed out that it lines up a little too neatly with Oscar Pig, especially for a series that normally avoids unexplained details. And finally, there's the timeline problem. In the episode Baby Bump, Peppa watches a home video of herself as a baby, while Mummy Pig is already pregnant. That baby cannot be George, as there is at least a 2-year age difference between him and Peppa. Was there another child born between them? One who existed long enough to be filmed, named, and then quietly removed from the family history? That's where Oscar fits uncomfortably well. Fans even connect this to George's obsession with Mr. Dinosaur. The theory goes that Mr. Dinosaur didn't start with George at all. It was passed down, something that survived when Oscar didn't, and maybe why George is so obsessed with it. So do you think Oscar Pig really existed? Was he written out of the show on purpose? Or is he still hiding in plain sight? And what do you think is going on with the attic? Drop your theories in the comments. We read all of them. Chloe Pig. After Oscar, the child who might not exist at all, we move to a pig child who very much does exist, but still feels oddly out of place, because Chloe Pig has secrets, and the show keeps quietly dressing her in them. The first one is visual, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. In the episode Baby Piggy, when Peppa and George go to play outside at Chloe's house, Chloe's little playhouse has a flag flying from it. Not flowers, not hearts, not unicorns. A skull and crossbones. No explanation, no pirate game happening. It's just there. Like this is completely normal decoration for a kid's toy house in Peppa Pig. Then, later on in the episode Chloe's Big Friends, Chloe turns up wearing a backwards pink cap, and once again, right on the front, the same skull and crossbones symbol. 2 separate episodes, 2 separate items, same symbol. And this is a show where nothing is accidental. Peppa Pig doesn't casually hand out danger symbols to children unless it means something, yet Chloe keeps getting marked with one that usually means rebellion, rule breaking, or being a bit outside the safe bubble, which fits perfectly with Chloe's other secret. She doesn't want to be grown up, she just really wants to look like she is. In Chloe's Big Friends, she puts on this whole performance, standing with the older kids, acting bored, pretending Peppa and George are babies who should probably be put in storage. And then the second a game starts, she's in, dancing, jumping around. So the mature cousin thing, that's just an act she switches on when it suits her, which suddenly makes those skull and crossbone details feel a lot less random, because that symbol keeps popping up around Chloe, like a quiet little warning sign saying this one isn't being totally honest about who she is. The evil twin, and then there's the pig child whose entire existence is treated like a secret nobody's allowed to mention. Because once you accept that Peppa might have a twin, everything the show does around her suddenly starts making a lot more sense, in a very uncomfortable way. Most fans already know the theory of Peppa's twin started with that infamous poster, the one where there's an extra Peppa-looking face in the downstairs window, so we won't dwell on that. What matters isn't how the twin was spotted, it's what the show has done ever since. Take Peppa's new bedroom in the rebuilt house. George finally gets his own room, which is fair enough, but Peppa keeps the old bunk bed anyway, and not just keeps it, the bottom bunk is now hidden behind a curtain like it's been officially retired from public viewing. Which is funny because if you did have a child you didn't want anyone asking questions about, that is exactly how you deal with it. You don't remove the bed, you don't draw attention to it, you just close the curtain and pretend it was always like that. And the evil twin theory makes even more sense once you look at Peppa's moods. One minute, Peppa's sweet and helpful. Next, she's bossy, snappy, and acting like everyone's ruined her life. And the show never explains it, which is odd. Unless it isn't one Peppa at all. Because sudden personality flips don't look like bad writing. They look like a swap. Same pig, different turn, and now Evie has arrived with a bang. Meanwhile, if there is a twin, she's still stuck behind a curtain in someone else's room, watching a brand new sibling get everything she never did. If Peppa's behavior feels more extreme lately, nicer one moment, nastier the next, it's hard not to wonder whether jealousy has turned the volume up, because secrets don't stay quiet forever. By the time you look at Peppa, George, and Evie together, the show starts feeling like a group of children all quietly carrying different secrets. Let's start with Peppa, because hers might be the biggest. Peppa isn't just the big sister anymore. She's the one who knows what's going on. If the evil twin theory is even half true, then Peppa isn't just sharing a bedroom, she's sharing the spotlight, which might explain why she's lovely one minute and absolutely feral the next. And if there really is another pig hiding behind that curtain, Peppa learned very early that this is one of those family secrets you just don't bring up, which might explain why she's suddenly juggling a lot more than the show admits. Peppa isn't managing one younger sibling anymore. She's dealing with George, Evie, and potentially at least one secret pig no one wants to acknowledge. That's a lot of pressure for a kid who already hates losing control, hates not being the center of attention, and struggles with patience at the best of times. Then there's George. George's secret isn't that he's quiet, it's that he's been quietly replaced. He spent 20 years as the baby, and then Evie turned up, no warning, no adjustment period. If that doesn't create jealousy, nothing does. And finally, what's Evie's big secret? No pig child has ever been introduced like Evie. Public announcements, interviews, a rewritten intro, new focus, new merch. Evie doesn't arrive like a sibling, she arrives like a successor. The show never says it out loud, but the message is pretty clear. Evie isn't just joining the family, she's being positioned for the main lead. So when you really look at it, the pig family doesn't feel small at all. It feels crowded. Crowded with secrets, missing explanations, and kids who don't quite fit the neat little story the show wants us to believe. 7 pig children, 1 family, and a lot of things no one ever talks about. So now we want to know, which pig child do you think has the biggest secret? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoy uncovering Peppa Pig's weirdest mysteries, hidden clues, and secrets the show definitely didn't mean for us to notice, check out our other videos on the channel. Thanks for watching.